What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and Ubisoft was nice enough to invite me to the Raleigh Major, put me up in a hotel, and allow me to play Operation Ember Rise early. In this video, we're going to be going over the new defender that's coming this season, Goyo. Throughout the course of this video, you're going to see some actual gameplay of me using Goyo. You're going to see us playing on the newly reworked Canal. I'll show how his gadget works, who counters him, who synergizes with him. We'll go over his loadout. And then finally, I'll give you kind of my opinion on my early impressions of Goyo, how strong I think he is, and how I think he's going to be best used. Now, as always in these videos, I do want to give kind of an overall statement regarding Goyo right now before we get into all the details. And I think that Goyo is actually going to have a really big impact on the meta of this game. This season, Operation Ember Rise reminds me a lot of Operation Parabellum, where we had Maestro and Alibi introduced. And Alibi kind of got all the headlines because she had the prismas, the decoys, the holograms, and that was really flashy. But Maestro is actually the one who ended up actually having the bigger impact on the game, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that Alibi is weak, but Maestro was the stronger of the two operators, even though he wasn't as flashy. And that kind of reminds me of Goyo versus Amaru. And Amaru has that grappling hook, it's really flashy, but Goyo, with these shields that catch on fire, he's really strong, and he's going to be something the attackers definitely have to worry about. With that said, let's go ahead and get into some details right now. Goyo is a 2-armor, 2-speed defender. His unique gadget is called the Vulcan Shield. It's an incendiary bomb that explodes when destroyed, attached to a deployable shield. Now, Goyo has 3 of these Vulcan shields, and the important thing to remember, we'll go into more detail here later on, but the big thing is it's 3 deployable shields that have a device attached to the back of them that explodes and lays down fire for 12 seconds. Getting into Goyo's loadout, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because all these weapons are in the game with other operators already. He has 2 primary options available, first one being the Vector 45 ACP. This is a submachine gun, the exact same submachine gun that Mira has. I noticed no differences as far as attachments. Neither of these operators have the ACOG available on this SMG. The second primary option is the TCSG-12. This is the DMR shotgun that Kaid has available to him, the sniper shotgun, and again, all attachments appear to be the same. There is an ACOG available if you want to equip this primary weapon. Only one secondary option available for Goyo, and that is the P229. As far as his gadgets, he has the choice between Impacts or Nitro Cell. Just a quick note as far as Goyo's kit, that Vector that Mira has, it almost feels like a new gun because with a 2-armor 2-speed, you find yourself in completely different situations than you would playing as a Mira, and it's really interesting to kind of, be roaming or lurking or whatever and having that weapon in your hands. I will say I really enjoyed playing with Goyo, and I think that Vector matches up well with him. Okay, with the loadout out of the way, I'm going to play a full round here, and I am going to actually play the entire round because you're going to see how potentially strong Goyo's gadget can be towards the end of this round. So make sure you stick around and watch the whole thing. After that, we'll come in, we'll talk about his gadget more. I'll talk about some counters, who he synergizes well with, because there are a lot of operators that match really well with Goyo. And then we'll talk about just my general impressions and how strong I think he might be.
5 seconds and counting.
Reload!
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Explosive ordnance deployed. Entry denial active.
Hiding the toxins. Evil eye on Overwatch.
Updating our tactics.
Just a little trick. Impact out.
One op 4 remaining. Seconds. Friendly, last operator standing. 5 seconds left. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Okay, so in that clip you saw me get 2 kills there as Goyo, and that final one was actually with my gadget. I probably would have killed that Nomad with the weapon, but the fire is actually what ended up killing that Nomad. And you can see that I shot it, you know, and destroyed it with about, what, 13 seconds or so left in the round, and it delayed that Nomad. There was really nothing that she could do to push into the site without dying. And yeah, I think that perfectly demonstrates some of the potential with his gadget. Now, in the clip you're seeing on the screen right now, we're messing around with his gadget next to soft walls. And what you'll see here is that we shot out the bottom of this wall, but when we actually destroy this, it actually puts a bigger hole in this wall, and the fire does go through as well. So there's a lot of possibilities for using this gadget on, you know, soft walls and letting the fire go through, and I just think the possibilities are endless. You also saw how I had one set up with that mirror, which I think presents a lot of opportunities as well. Some of the basics as far as these Vulcan shields are concerned, he gets 3 of them. They do team damage, okay? And if you are standing right next to one and one gets exploded, it will damage you, it will damage your teammates. Anybody that's standing next to it will get injured. It does not destroy frost mats, okay? So if you put a frost mat behind one and it explodes, it will not destroy the frost mat. It will destroy Legion goo mines though, so keep that in mind. After the original explosion that destroys the shield, the fire will lay on the ground for about 12 seconds, which I believe is 2 seconds longer than a smoke canister affects the area that it's thrown into. So pretty strong there that fire actually blocks an area of approach for up to 12 seconds. One thing that I want to make clear is that once these Vulcan shields are set up, no matter how they're destroyed, it's going to explode and drop fire down. There's no way of getting rid of this shield that I'm aware of without the fire dropping down and denying that area for the 12 seconds. It doesn't matter if Sledge does it, if Maverick does it, Sophia, Ash, any of the defenders with impacts or nitro cells, it does not matter. It's still going to explode and drop the fire. As far as how the attackers interact with these shields, it's basically the same exact way as any other deployable shield. The only difference being that attackers can also shoot that device that's on the back of that shield and explode it for themselves. So there is some potential risk with this gadget. If you place it in an area where the attackers end up getting a line of sight behind it, they can destroy it themselves. It's kind of similar to like a Mira in that sense. You have to be kind of careful about where you set these and keep that in mind. But Ash will destroy these shields just like she would destroy any other deployable shield. Zofia will do the same. Bandit can charge these shields. Cade can charge these shields. So basically all the rules that apply to regular deployable shields apply to these shields as well. I wanted to mention specifically right now how well Kapkan synergizes with Goyo, because if you place his shields on a door and then you place a Kapkan trap on that door, if somebody jumps in over that shield, they're going to detonate that Kapkan trap, which will then destroy that shield, which will then kill the person who jumped in over it. I'm hoping you guys are following me there, but I think that's an important interaction to remember. I think you're going to see a lot of Kapkan combined with Goyo, and it's going to be something you have to deal with. Now, a Thatcher would, take that Kapkan trap down just like normal, and then you could jump over the shield. But yeah, it's definitely something to be concerned with right now. The Kapkan Goyo combo is strong. As far as the counters, other than the operators that can destroy the shields with their explosives, there's not really a direct counter. I mean, Thatcher doesn't disable it. Twitch doesn't destroy it. There's really no operator on the attack that has an effect on Goyo's shields that they wouldn't have on a regular deployable shield. So there's not really necessarily like a direct counter to it. With that said, any operator technically can counter it if they get the proper line of sight to detonate the device on the back. It's going to blow up, and potentially it could damage the defenders who are near it. Now, as we start getting into my opinion as far as Goyo and how strong he is, I wanted to show this clip on the screen right now. And you might think it's strange because it's actually Mozzie that I'm playing, but I think this is what makes Goyo so strong to me, because as Mozzie, I'm going to use Goyo's shields to get a kill here. And it's strong. I mean, the fact is that Goyo's shields, although they're his gadgets, any defender can use them to their advantage. And if, think about a Maestro Goyo combo. By the way, Maestro's Evil Eyes will destroy the back and detonate that charge on the back of these shields. So you can use an Evil Eye to blow up these shields, which is pretty cool as well. But if you have 2 Evil Eyes and 3 of these shields on the board, then Ashe and Zofia both won't have enough charges combined to take care of all of those items. So this is a utility eater, these shields, and it definitely delays time. If you are running very late in the round and all these shields are still up, then the defenders are going to have a big advantage. Now, I think it's kind of similar to a Mira in a lot of ways. Like Mira can put her gadget down, and anybody on that defending team can use it and benefit from it. And that's kind of how I'm looking at these shields. And I think that's going to be something that makes these really strong over time. I think a lot of players are going to like the fact that they can put down these shields, help the team, and then go off and roam, do whatever they want. I think these shields are going to synergize really well with a heavy roam, because if you delay enough time to where the attackers can't focus on the site, these shields get even stronger towards the end of the round. I think if we look at the win deltas, I've mentioned it before, the set it and forget it gadgets in the game are always near the top for a lot of the operators. So I really think that Goyo could be an operator that has a really big impact on the meta, and I'm happy about it because it's a cool gadget. It really is, and it's not something that's really abrasive or intrusive either. You're gonna know in plain sight where these shields are. I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually gets nerfed down to 2, but we'll see how that goes. And overall, I'm just really excited for what Goyo could potentially do for this game. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you have a basic understanding of Goyo and you can kind of hit the ground running with him now. Let me know what you think about Goyo as well as Operation Ember Rise in general down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.